Hi, welcome back to another live edition of He Said, She Said with Libby and
Stafford.
On this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday that we're having here. Going to have ourselves a lighthearted show today, hopefully, and just have a good time, getting ready to go on vacation, so, try and make it happy. You can find us, geekpublicradio.com, and go to the Listen Live button on there, click it, and it'll bring you to us. And then we have the Live 365 app you can get on your phone, your mobile device, whichever, and go to it and look for Geek Public Radio, or you can find us on Facebook. And then I always forget the number, so here's Stafford.
765-278-8661 for the station phone.
There you go. You can send us a text, say, hey, any comments that you might have, hit us up on our personal devices if you have them, because if I don't know you, sorry, not giving you a number. Love yous, but I'll give you the station number. Because I already get blown up by telemarketers and everybody else. I don't need to add to that.
See, those are fun.
I don't deal with them well because I tend to get angry with telemarketers because they call like you're either trying to sleep, you're taking a shower, you're, trying to take a bath, have supper, and it's always at stupid times.
I like to have fun with them.
Yeah, well, so does my husband. He's like, no, let me get it. I'll answer it, I swear. Let me answer it. Like
this is a high part of my day. Let me do this.
He's like, they've called you 30 times in an hour.
Right.
Let me answer that phone. Like, it's ridiculous. But, usually in half the time, it's like, I don't even understand what you're saying, trying to sell. Do I owe you money? Like, what is the problem here? Because you've called me aggressively for like an hour, and I'm like, I don't know what you want, buddy. I don't want what you're selling, I'll tell you that. I got house insurance, I don't have a warranty on my car, and I don't use credit cards. So, there's that. Now what you got for me?
Policeman's ball.
No, don't care. I live in a very small town. We don't have one of those.
Right.
It's not like we live in Indy.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Highway Patrol does not have walls.
Oh, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that out loud because that'll be karma on me, and I will get arrested after the show. And we're not going to play that. I play nice with Mr. Policeman.
Well, no, that was a joke. Yeah.
Well, you can say that joke, and
Why is
that's
the producer's mic on?
No, it's not. He just talks loud. He talks loud enough for me to hear him, and I'm just like, ooh, no bueno.
If you're bringing jokes like that, turn that off.
Gonna get us in trouble. But no, we're easy to find. Get a hold of us, if you have any questions, concerns, topic change, whatever, or if you just want to hear a certain song, some music, we'll play it, no problem.
We all know what Mikey wants to hear.
Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna tell you what, Mikey, that's one I may have to say no about because I can't. I will die laughing. If I listen to that song, I will die laughing, and the show will be over because I will not be able to stop it. It's just like a train wreck. It'll trickle down.
I think he might change it up this time. Maybe he wants to hear Freebird.
I can do Freebird. Play some Skinner! If you don't hear that every once in a while when you go to the concert, it's not a concert.
Right.
So, okay, well, our topic for this evening is going to be kind of fun, and it's something that I've struggled with. I mean, I have...
Is it fun, though?
Well, the topic is fun. The actual topic that we're talking about, not so fun when it happens. Like, it's going to be a couple things. The first one is, I have a grown child and I have a teenage child. Mm-hmm. And with all that, you at some point are going to have to help with homework.
Right.
Okay, and you think, I've got a degree. I've got this. I've gone through college calculus. I've got anatomy, physiology. I can do science. I could all... Then they introduced Common Core math. I can't do frickin' second grade math. I tried, and my son, he's like, I took it to the teacher, Mom, and he said it's wrong. I'm like, 2 + 2 is 4. How the hell is that wrong? Well, you didn't put all the steps. I'm like, I'm not adding this, I'm subtracting this, multiplying and dividing to come up with the same damn number as 2 + 2. Like, I dealt with Saxon math, which drove my mom crazy, because she didn't understand it. Common Core math, and I had a teacher tell me at this last Gen Con, when I was frustrated about it, he's like, don't worry about it. I'm a math teacher, and let me tell you, that's not math. I'm like, I know. It makes no sense. Like, why do I need popsicle sticks to do math? I don't understand. We're going to deal with that, of the challenges that we as parents face when trying to help, especially the small children, with their homework. I can understand being confused when the kids get into high school, because some of the stuff they learn now is way more advanced than when we were in high school.
Right.
We didn't get into algebra until high school.
They're doing it
There's kids in there in middle school. Yeah. Like, my son's into that stuff. It's like, no. And in even the way they teach science is different. I'm like, science is science. How does that change? Like, science doesn't change. The way you're teaching it does, or not teaching it is more now. They don't teach history anymore. I mean, my son is almost in high school, and he just now is finding out about Black history and lynchings and things like that, in this area. And I'm like, that is something that you should have learned a long time ago.
Yeah.
They're just now learning it. He's fixing to hit high school. Like, they're not teaching so many things in history anymore. It's very selective. Like, my mom's best friend was a teacher, and she said that the reason she went ahead and retired early, she says, we are not allowed to teach anymore. We are given a specific set of things that we are to show them, and nothing outside of that set. By the state of Indiana.
Well, and I guess that makes some sense on the local side. I mean, as far as... but... You look at something like, lynchings, Black history, the Civil Rights Movement, I wouldn't think that would fall under the scope of doing anything outside of, what they should be teaching. I don't know why they would say that they couldn't do that, but...
It's just very, like I said, it's very selective. It's not, they're teaching, you can teach this, this, and this. Now, if there's something outside of that you think they should know, well, too bad. And to me... that's cutting off the feet of our country. Like,
right.
You go anywhere else, these countries, they know, different languages. They know our history along with theirs. They know this, that, and the other. And all it's doing is making our country dumb. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not going to know our history, so you're doomed to repeat the past. Mm-hmm. Or you're not going to be smart enough or wise enough to figure it out.
Or it's easier to control the populace.
Yeah. And I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but when this stuff starts happening... right. It's hard to deny it. Like, you're not teaching our kids to be free thinkers. You're not teaching them that it's okay to have a thought. Mm-hmm. You're teaching them, you'll learn what I say you're going to learn, and you're going to travel this path, and that's that. Nothing else.
You need independent thinkers.
Yes. I had a retired teacher tell me before, because he was very much into the conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Very, very much a doomsday prepper. Mm-hmm. And he, back then I thought, you're nuts, and now the more I think about it, I'm like, well, holy crap. Because, and he's passed away, and I'm glad because he's not having to see this.
Right.
I'm not glad he's gone, but I'm glad that he doesn't have to witness this, because it's like what he's saying is coming to fruition. He's like, no, you're going to see that more and more kids are pushed into homeschooling, and the only ones who are going to get that formal education are the ones that can be molded by our government. The government.
Okay.
They're the ones that are going to get that formal education because you're going to come work for us. Everyone else, you're on your own. Figure it out.
Right.
But I do think that can backfire because the ones who have to learn it on their own are going to be free thinkers. They're going to be able to figure stuff out.
Right.
We're going to be those ones, like in Total Recall, living under the ground and shit. So, But like I said, it's hard to help your children when you don't understand what in the hell is going on.
Right.
And it's not just different forms of the way they learn things, and you have to show your work. Oh, okay, but yeah, okay. Let me put 10 lines of work for one problem that can be solved in 2.
Right.
It's not that deep, folks.
Right.
And they're telling them, well, if you don't put all of that work down and show that it looks exactly what I want, it's wrong. Even though your answer's right, it's wrong. And that, frustrates me so bad because. My son, he learns differently anyway. He's on the ADHD spectrum and things like that, so he learns differently. And he felt so proud of himself because he's like, I got the right answers, Mom. He was so excited to turn his homework in, turned it in, all of them wrong. And I was like, nope, we're going to school.
Yeah.
They're right. Well, you didn't show it. I'm like, and here we go. Mama Bear's going to come out today.
I have seen how you're supposed to arrive at the answer on some of these math problems, this Common Core stuff. And they've tried to explain it to me about 16 different ways. Okay. And I've looked at it, and it still doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
I mean, you're supposed to round up and then subtract, and then you add this column and that column, and somehow it comes. I'm like, you know what? Or I can just take 4 from 50 and have 46.
Right. That's where I'm at. I just don't understand it, and so my brain instantly just goes, nope, we're done. Why do you have to make it complicated? It's, math is finite. It's simple.
Right.
Its answer is its answer. It's always going to be its answer.
Right.
It doesn't matter how you get there. The answer is still the answer.
And then they say, well, show your work on this. Okay, well, if I have these 2 apples, and then I have these 2 over here, and I push them together, now I have 4
apples. Yeah. Not 4 plus 2 plus the 2 minus 4, then add 4.
I can show kids how to get to the answer my way, and it just makes so much more sense to them but I can't help them with the Common Core.
No, no.
I can get you the answer that fast.
Yeah, it's that whole saying of, like, I feel like a monkey with a math problem. Well, I'm the monkey, and that's the math problem. Because...
A math problem from Pluto.
Yeah. But it made me feel so much better to have an actual educator tell me, that's not math, don't worry about it. Because I said, I feel like a retard. Like, I can't get it. Why can I not get this? I am an educated woman. I have 2 degrees. Why can I not do 2nd grade freaking math? He's like, it's not math. He's like, it's not math. It's a bunch of theories.
Did he say it was? Just...
He said it's... You want his honest opinion?
Yeah.
He said it's a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Well, yeah.
It's not
we
math.
We knew that.
And he said, and when they told him that he had to teach that, he says, well, I guess I won't teach math then. And I don't blame him.
No, not at all, really.
No.
I mean, it doesn't make much sense. I didn't know anything about how they were changing science or anything.
It's not. I mean, you can't change science. That's what I keep saying.
Well, yeah.
You can't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, but they're changing the way they talk about it. There's certain topics they're not allowed to talk about.
Like the Earth being round.
Well, there's always that debate. We're not going there. But there's also the thing of Christianity versus Darwinism. There's always that. So now it's, always before you didn't teach this. And now they flipped it up. Well, no, now you got to teach this. And there's always going to be that debate. And I think it's good. I think it's good that you teach both. But the other thing is like, okay, Darwinism is a science. Mm-hmm. The other is religion.
Right.
And you're supposed to keep a separation between,
yeah,
school and state, religion, things like that. So I understand that. But it's like, I don't agree with teaching one thing but not teaching all of it together.
So, see, because when we were in school, they taught evolution.
Yes.
And we heard about, the creationism, that come about through the church. So that's being moved into the school I mean, how? Mm-hmm. So the schools.
Well, now it's not. They were doing it. Like certain schools were teaching Darwinism, and then they cut out Darwinism for a while. And then we're only doing the the theory of creation. In the religion. Mm. And now they're back to Darwinism, which is okay because it's science. Like, you're teaching science, that's science. You're not having a theology class. This is science class. Everything has its place and everything has its time.
No, but here's the thing, though. I mean, if Darwinism is the science aspect of it. If they teach creationism, now that opens the door for them to have to teach everything else, Scientology, the whole 9 yards.
And I think that's kind of why they stepped back out of that and got back into just...
They should just do what they done when we were in school and teach the Darwinism.
But now they're not even teaching
and
that.
Say,
they're just skipping it.
Well, they might say, well, this is what people think happened.
Yeah.
And that makes no damn sense to me.
Well, but like I'm saying, now they don't teach any of it. That's what I'm saying. They've just, instead of arguing about it, they've just completely left it out. I'm like, I remember it taking, when we were in school, it taking a long time to go over the Darwinism theory because organisms up to, and they just don't even teach that stuff anymore. Like, I'll ask Bobby all the time, hey, you're in history class. What did you learn from history? Nothing history related. I'm like, okay, you watched the news.
Then what did they do?
Yeah.
What did they do in history class if they didn't learn about history?
Are they teaching?
Are they teaching the Bible studies?
What are you learning in history class, Bobby? Other than you told me that just now you learned that there was a very poor black fellow that got hung in Marion years and years and years ago.
That and about something how they brought stuff from British into America. We've been stuck on that subject for 3 weeks.
Oh, so we're back to the 1600s at this point.
Yeah, they're also calling.
They're just now learning about when it was British that came over, and
also still calling history social studies now.
Yeah, and they've
social studies is what it was in middle school. Then
we had history and social studies in middle school.
Did we have history and social
Mr.
studies?
Phipps?
I never had Phipps.
Well, there was social studies and we had history.
Oh shit! What was his name? His wife was a teacher
Wasolic.
too. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's who I had.
Yeah.
But...
And Hamilton.
Yes.
Before he went to...
We had both of those. Now it's just they've combined history and social studies together, which is... I'm like, you don't have that kind of time to teach everything, everything that we learned back then. It's like, I feel like they're just getting the tip of the iceberg of everything that they should be getting at this point. Suppose, they're advancing them so much faster in math and things like that, but then, and even in sciences, but when it comes to... history, sociology, anything like that. It's just, at first glance, you get the first blush of it, and then you're done. So how are they going to learn from our past if they don't know it? You know, we ask him all the time, like, did you find out about, you know, the Nazi war and Hitler and all this? No. No, these kids have no idea what a concentration camp is. They think that it's something fake that somebody just made up. I'm like, what? Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what they're teaching?
It's not that they're teaching, but that's kind of the idea that these kids get. They're not teaching it, so it can't be real.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because I've talked to several of them, you know, my son, his friends, and all that, and I'm like, okay, well, let me just go get my history book, and we're going to talk about this, because let me, you know, why don't you talk, I told him straight up, I was like, most kids don't get this opportunity. I said, but go talk to your Aunt Chloe, because with her RN schooling and stuff, she actually had to go to Jewish Chicago for clinical type stuff, and learn all the customs and everything about there, and there, she met some Jews that were still alive from the concentration camps, had their tattooed, everything. And I'm like, that was no joke. That's not a made-up thing. That was a horrific travesty in history. Like, the biggest bonehead blunder of the century.
And they're not teaching it?
Nope. He had no clue what I was talking about.
Oh, my God.
No clue.
Okay. The Department of Education needs an enema.
That's why I'm saying. And so it's hard for me to help with stuff when I'm looking at it going, okay, you're learning this, but why the hell did you not learn this? It happened right before that.
Why are teachers not standing up for that and saying, you don't want me to teach about the Holocaust? And I mean,
I got told by a teacher at a teacher's aide just recently that you're basically told to go with the flow or you don't work here.
bye.
Yeah, but there are so many people that this is a very small town. Number one, you live in a small town. Everyone knows everyone, and everybody's in everybody else's shit. Number two, there's only so many places to work. And the school system, so like right now, is so flooded with teachers in this area that it's going to be hard to get a job. You've got so many people out there, teachers, who are actually just scrambling for a substitute job. That they're afraid of, okay, well, I'll lose that. I've got a family to feed. I'll lose my insurance. I'll lose my pay. I'll lose everything. My retirement. Because they do have a nice retirement package. But there again,
there's
too.
principles to stand on.
But there again, too, so many of them are young that they basically, like, were initiated into this as students. And so, for the most part, they're like, oh, well, okay, it's what we learned. You know, only the older teachers are like, no, I got to retire early. Like, I can't do this.
Yeah, that. Oh my God.
They, you know, some of them just waiting till they hit that year where they can retire early and not lose their benefits. Because it's
so
just...
is this a school system thing that they're deciding not to teach this stuff, or is it coming from the federal government, or where's it coming from?
It's
is
all
it
over.
state?
It's the whole country. It's the whole country.
Everybody's doing
Yep.
this? Mm-hmm. What the hell?
Yeah, buddy. And I know, because, you know, your kids, you know, you've got them older, but you know, worked all the time, and so you didn't have as much stuff to do. But now you've got Avery who's coming up and just starting kindergarten. I want you to be aware of the struggles that you are now facing, sir. That when you look at her math, you're going to go, that is not math. When you look at her history, you're going to say, that is not history, and if it was, it's not true. Or you're missing a big-ass chunk of it. Like, you know, my husband and I both, we struggle so hard with it because we just want to go to the teachers and scream, like, what are you teaching? Like, it makes no sense.
I'm gonna be that dad.
Oh, I've been that mom.
I'm gonna
Do
be
you
that
know how many
dad.
times
They're
I've
gonna
been into that
hate me.
school?
They're gonna hate me.
I felt like at a point where I had to switch him schools.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and each school is a little bit different. You know, where he is now, I'm a little happier because at least they're teaching history. The school we came from, there wasn't even history class. No.
You're
they weren't
kidding
teaching
me.
anything. I'm like, so when are you going to have history class? He's like, what? Huh?
Only social studies.
Yeah, only social studies. That's all they had. And then they don't even learn about government. I'm like, that's what social studies was. So yeah, just look it up sometime. Look it
What
up.
kind of lackluster fools are they kicking out of that school system? I mean, how bad?
It's just, and the thing is the kids when they graduate think they've got a handle on life, and they've got no clue.
And then
They're
No
trying to-
wonder.
everything.
So this falls in with what we talked about last week about how we're raising a weaker generation because now they're not even aware of their own history.
They don't even realize they're being weak. Like I said, it's not their fault. They don't know any different. They don't know any better. And us telling them, they're like, oh, well, you're just being the old school, you know, like we did with our parents. You know, every set does it. Like, oh, it's just school, and we had it different than you, and you had it different than us, and it's always going to be that way, but it's frightening right now, because I'm like, holy crap. It gets to a point where all of these different schools are saying, and colleges are trying to make this mandatory, that you have to take an adulting class. I'm like, what the?
What?
I said, what the hell?
You have to take a what? An adult into class?
No, adulting. How to adult.
Adulting.
I'm mad that word exists.
Right?
Wait.
Like, I don't.
Wait. No. Wait.
I'm not done. I'm not
What
done.
is an adulting
I'm
class?
I'm getting there. Because so
What?
many kids right now, you know how we had cooking class, home
We
ec
had home
class,
ec, yeah.
sewing, things like that. Teaches you your basic skills. Know how to
Yeah.
cook for yourself, know how to do some dishes, know how to sew a hole in your pants.
Yeah.
Okay?
And accounting would teach you how
Yeah.
to balance a checkbook.
Nobody does that anymore.
Why not?
Don't know. Because now they're getting to the point where these jobs are trying to hire these people, and they're like, okay, you're super smart. How do you remember to tie your shoe? They don't know how to cook.
I use cup rub.
Don't know how to clean. Don't know how to change a tire. Don't know how to change oil in their car. Some don't even know how to put gas in the car, which is really weird to me.
Well, I knew a gal like that.
But so much stuff that they don't know how to do that's just called adulting. And, and if you younger folks in there are getting aggravated with me, I'm not saying this as a slam. I'm not. I love you all, and it's not your fault. It's the way you've been trained, the way you've been conditioned. I am from old school, where even if school didn't teach me this crap, my dad would have been like,
Well,
you want to drive it, you learn how to fix
That's
it, you
what I was
learn how to
getting
change
ready
your
to
tires.
say. Where's the parents?
I don't know how to do it either.
Some of them, but no, I tried with my oldest, but she's very academic and a little less physical. Now she does know how to do things. She knows how to check her own car. She knows how to check her oil. Not that she does, but she knows how.
Okay.
And things like that. But there are so many people that, like, if you say,
Well, she doesn't need to know how to change a starter. Just
right,
just know
yeah,
whether there's oil.
that's
in the
what
damn
mommy's
thing or
for.
not.
That's
Right.
fine. And you've got the part for the air conditioner. I need to get the Haynes manual, darling, and I'll fix it. And I won't charge you $400. I'll just let me have the baby for a weekend. It's fine. Anyway, but it's they don't know how to adult. Is basically what it is. An employer's going to say, okay, we're going to do this. Why are you coming to work dirty? Oh, no one did your laundry. Because you don't know how. You don't know how.
Wait. Seriously?
I am serious. Like, I'm not joking. When look it up on one of our breaks, on our first break, look it up. Because there is seriously, they're wanting a college general education mandatory course in adulting. How is this a word? Why is this a problem?
If there was going to be a class like that, it damn well should have been handled in high school, like
Yes.
home ec.
That's what our home
Yeah.
ec was, our adulting class.
So maybe some
Here
of
it's called Learn Not How to Die. Like,
right. So maybe some of this newfangled fancy stuff that they're doing, they need to worry less about whether they got the little computer notebook things or the iPads. Worry more about getting kids prepared to be adults if
Yeah.
the parents aren't.
right. Something's got to be done. But we will be back here in just a few minutes after a break. We'll play a commercial, a song or two, and things like that. And then we'll be back with our talk that's turned into a rant, which I'm totally fine with. And we'll go from there about the education of our children. And then we're going to go into words and things that you never thought you would ever have to say to your children. Shit that should never have ever had to fly out of your mouth. But we will see you in just a few. Enjoy.
Quit biting your brother.
Yeah. And welcome back to He Said, She Said, where we are just turning this show into one giant ramp of our education system. This rant is just going to ramp up, and I am okay with it. Again, you can get us on Facebook, you can get us on Live 365, you can get us on Geek Public Radio, and also our cellular devices, and we also have the radio one.
765-278-8661.
There you go. Let me write
the
that down
station
because I
phone.
always forget because it's not my thing to remember all that crap. But, it's bad. It's bad.
I bet if you had an adulting class, you'd
I
have
might
been
be
able to
better at
improve
that,
your memory,
right? Maybe I should go with that. The thing that we were talking about on break
I
too,
didn't get smacked for that. How about that?
that I find. Look, I said tonight was gonna be lighthearted. We're gonna keep it
Right.
lighthearted.
Okay.
Besides, I'm wearing a shirt that if I smack you too hard, things are liable to come out, so we're not doing it. Be a whole different show then. We were talking about on break is the fact that schools do not teach script anymore. They do not teach cursive writing anymore.
Right.
I think that that's a detriment. I understand why you're teaching keyboard because anymore everything's on computers and all that. But we had keyboarding, which was actually called computer class. You know, when we were in school, you still have, it's called typing class.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have all that, but you still learn to write. I learned script and cursive in second grade, and it's just
Right.
blows my mind that I've got a high schooler going, I can't read that, Mom. Why are you writing it in cursive? The only thing he recognizes in cursive is his name. And that's because there's 3 B's in it. They all look the same.
Well, and you know they have to be able to write cursive because you got to be able to sign your name on a check.
They don't have to anymore. It's all online. It's done over your phone. It's done over your computer. You don't actually have to sign it. They say by clicking here, you're putting your signature on it.
A digital signature, that's
It's
insane.
But that's all we have anymore.
I
Nobody
know.
writes like, you know, you hand someone at the store, you hand them, you got your checkbook out, you're gonna write. They look at you like you're an alien. Like, what is
Well,
that?
probably because half the tellers don't know how to process the check.
Probably. Or they're like, that's not money. You know? But you don't have to use a signature anymore. Very, very rarely. The only thing I think, like,
thumbprint, you could always do that, I guess.
the only thing I can think of is, like, if, you know, you go to a bank to get a home loan or something like that. An actual bank, not an online bank. Because, you know, my daughter got her house over everything online. I don't know how much of everything she actually had to sign paper-wise except for the realtor.
I was going to say, you usually have to sign the title work.
Yeah, but that can be done electronically now. I've done title work online before.
No wonder identity theft's so damned easy.
Exactly. Because you don't actually have to use a signature
Yeah,
anymore.
you don't even have to know what the person looks like.
But, you know, and there, you know, the other thing is like, well, biggest things like we're saying in our history. Oh gosh, or again, no history class. But you can't write or read script. How the hell are you going to read the Declaration of Independence? How the hell are you going to read all of your rights? How the hell are you going to do that if you don't know how to read cursive? Because back then that's all they used. There was no print. There was no, oh, well, is it cursive or is it print? It's all cursive. Like, you're going to go to places where their menus are all fancy-dancy, and they're all in cursive, and you're going to starve. Or you're going to get something and go, I did not order squid. That is gross. What is happening here?
Writing a letter used to mean you wrote the letter.
Yes.
You know, you didn't print it. Print was for
And
like,
I
the
am one of
print
those
press.
weird people that, you know, everyone tells me I should have been born at a different time. I'm like, how do you know I wasn't? I'm just born again. It's fine. I'm recycled. But recycled soul. You know, I still love to write letters, not just email, not just this or that or the other, but I have a certain people that I will write letters back and forth, especially family, and we live states apart.
Right.
You know, and it's kind of fun, you know, you're waiting for that letter. You know,
Right.
I know that I could get on there and hit them on Facebook or email and get it back the same day,
That's
but
a lot more personal.
yeah. You know, and it, you know, when you see someone's handwriting to me, that's more personal too, because then I could look at it and be like, something were to happen, you bump your head or whatever, you can look at that and go, oh, that's them because I know that writing, or that's their writing. You
Right.
know, I don't know. I guess maybe I should have been a detective or something because I see things in the little things. You
Right.
know, to know it's like you can say you're this person all damn day long, but I'm gonna have to prove it first, and you're gonna have to prove it to me by other ways than just giving me your word. Because anymore, for most people, that really means diddly squat.
Right.
You know, oh, I give you my word until tomorrow when I need the money that I borrowed from you. You know, I don't know, but I think that it's a huge detriment to our kids not learning how to actually write, not type, not print, but write. Like my son, they do so much on the keyboards now that when he literally tries to write out homework, I can't read it. I'm like, there's no spaces, there's no comma or period or whatever. I'm like, and the spelling, oh my god, it's like you're not always going to have spell check.
Right.
It's almost like you need a decryptor key. Like, where's my ring? I need my decryptor ring, and I'll figure this out. It's supposed to be English, but I am not sure what this is right
they're
now.
writing like text to shorthand.
That, or it's just it's so
IH8 him. You
it's
know.
so sloppy because they haven't
Yeah.
had to write. It's typing, and you know, and I don't blame the kids as much. I do blame a lot on our education system because they're not having kids right. Like, before, when we were growing up, if they couldn't read it, the answer was wrong. Like,
Right.
you need to work on that crap. Like, I can't read that.
Yeah.
You know, I have so many people tell me, oh, you write so good for a left-handed person. No, I write good for any person, whether I'm left-handed or not. I'm just telling you that right now. But it's because we were told and shown, if I can't read it, it's not
wrong.
right.
Correct.
Because I don't know if it's right. Because I can't read it.
Mm-hmm.
So not just as writing, but even with your math, with your numbers and everything else, and you don't line it up right, and you know, your cattywampus and everything else, they're not going to count it right. I honestly think that they should still do that because not only does it help you with writing and stuff, but it also helps you with the attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it helps you with organization. There's so many things that just teaching people to write does.
Right.
You know, now it does it for you. The computer's got a program, does it for you. Okay, well, what happens, and I told my son this, I was like, what happens when all that stuff quits? What
Yep.
happens? Say, I don't know, a war, when we have presidents that piss everybody off with nuclear bombs, but it's fine. What happens if some shit goes down and no cell towers work, no internet works, no nothing works because there aren't any goddamn more?
Mm-hmm.
What then?
Well, you don't even have to get that deep in it. You can just go to a Walmart and have a power outage,
Yeah.
and then you see people trying to
They
figure out
scramble.
how to run a register with a calculator.
Right? And count
Yeah.
change.
Right.
And that's simple stuff compared to writing and things like that and all these different intricacies that you need to get into. And people skills. Good God, could you imagine if they actually had to talk to somebody face to face?
Oh, in a world where everybody's got their head in a device, human interaction is next to nothing.
I'm
now.
like, yep, you're the next one to be the zombie. You're getting bit. It's going to happen. You know? And gym class is no longer important. You know, that taught me how to dodge a freaking dodgeball, I'll tell you that real quick. I mean, yeah, you learn people skills. You know how? Because you learn that's the dick that's going to throw that sucker at my face. That's my people skill. It means I don't like you, and I'm going to go over here.
And it helps with team building too.
It does.
You know,
Either
I mean,
team building or that person's not a team player.
right?
I don't want to go anywhere with him because he's a jackass and he's all about himself or she's all about herself. No.
Right.
Okay, pretty princess, just stay over there. I'll do all the work. It's fine. It's only kickball. It's fine.
Right.
I'll run all the bases and do. It's fine. I got it. You know, but they don't. There's nothing anymore that's teaching kids social skills. You know, God love my daughter. She's grown, but she'll tell you, I don't like people. I don't do people skills. I don't, because they haven't been taught to. You know, when she was at the academy, yes, you had to learn, and I love that about the academy. Like, they were super smart, but they also taught them, you're going to have to do this to live. Like, you have to learn how to function as a single human. Like, you
Right.
can't depend on everyone else to make one brain, which was the big joke. I told them, you're not allowed to go out, kids, unless you're all together, because you're all smart. But together, the hive mentality has a brain.
Right.
Like, one of you remembers to eat, one of you remembers to close, you know, look both ways before you cross the street. One of you remembers, oh, hey, we have to go to the store to get food, so, you know, the other one remembers, oh, hey, we need to eat. Like, you have to be together, or none of you can go. But they taught classes and stuff like that, like, okay, you need to learn to be a person, a whole person. And I really, really admired that. And they taught all of the stuff, because it was a private school on
Yeah.
a college campus, they were allowed to teach what they wanted to teach.
Yeah.
Which was what we learned. You know, the stuff that you need. Oh, you're going to write a big paper on this history assignment, or we're going to get you deep into philosophical thinking.
Yeah.
And she would have to write, 7-8 page term papers on stuff like that as a junior in high school.
Good.
And that's what I said. I mean, I'm so proud of her. Like, I can't say enough how proud I am of my mini-me. She's amazing. And my son is amazing. Like, they're both very independent thinkers. Even though he's not getting the classes, he'll still say, well, why are we doing this that way? It doesn't make sense. I'm like, ding, 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 ding. I said, okay, if it doesn't make sense, tell me why. And tell me how you would do it differently. So, as a parent, I'm trying really hard with the independent thinker, but it's a struggle, too, because you get, they'll get in that mood then and look at you and go, well, I don't have to know that. I'm like, well, maybe not for school, but if you want to breathe past 25, you might want to figure it out.
Right.
And it's, my daughter was very academic. I don't want to cook. She still doesn't cook. God bless her heart. But she does, she's great at cleaning. She, do all that. She's an awesome mother. Like, doing all that stuff. My son, though, he's always like, I need to learn how to cook. I need you to show me how to run the washer and the dryer. do all this. And I'm like, you're going to make somebody a happy, happy wife someday, but it's fine. And he'll be like, Mom! But, I think that everyone should have that. I think it doesn't matter. Like they're finally having to do, but it's our own damn fault for letting it get to this far. Teaching an adulting class, they're teaching them, okay, let's learn how to run a washer and dryer. Let's learn how to you wash dishes and say your dishwasher doesn't work. Let's get the Dawn dish soap and show you how to have a wash side and a rinse side, and then dry them and put them away. I think that's good, but it's something that kids should already know. I think it's stuff that we shouldn't have to have this class.
Right.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be have to brought to the forefront because it should already be there. Like, this is stuff I learned growing up. Like, when I was little, and I'm showing my age a little bit, but before, you had the fancy Maytags and all this, it was that wringer washer, and you put the clothes on a line.
Yep.
Like, I learned how to do laundry with that.
The big tub.
You talk about learn quick or lose your fingers.
Right.
Get them suckers caught in a wringer washer between these two rollers that are made of steel, I think. And I had
that steel bar with that wood casing around it.
Oh, my God, that would hurt so bad. And then you'd have to learn real quick where the emergency stop button was that popped them apart.
Right.
Smack that sucker with a fist. Or, or it hurt so bad you couldn't think anymore. All you wanted to do was pee your pants, and your mom has to run up behind you and smack the button.
Oh, you had the emergency stop button. We had to crank that sumbitch.
Oh, no, because my grandpa, he wanted Grandma to have the best. So it actually had the e-stop button on it. Which, what's worse than getting your fingers in it is when you have long straight hair down to your butt.
Oh my God!
And
that'll scalp you if you ain't
You're
careful.
not watching. Yeah, and you're leaning over to get this and run it through the ringer, and you don't realize that your hair is attached to the jeans that are getting ready to go through the ringer. And you start winding that shit up on there. Oh, you move real quick towards that thing, and you're flailing for the button because you can't freaking see where you're going now because your hair's being ripped off your head and your eyes are watering. But yeah, I've had that a couple times, and I thought, ooh, every time after that, Mom, braid my hair. That way, if the braid, I'll feel that. Because that's all my hair, not just a chunk of it. But yeah, it would literally get so wrapped up in those things. I'm like, ooh, y'all don't know how easy you got it with a goddamn Maytag from the washer to the dryer, not
door
from the
and
washer.
A start button.
Ring it from the washer, then you put it in the rinse one, then you ring it again, then you put it in the one with the softener. Then you ring it again after you let it set in the softener for a while. Then you take those heavy-ass baskets out to the backyard, and you use some clothespins and put them on a clothesline and let Mother Nature dry it. So now it's, well, dang it, I got to go from the washer to the dryer. And whenever the kid's like, I'm like, really? Do you want to go old school? Because I got a really big backyard. I'll put a line. Do you want to go there? Swear to God I will. You'll be hanging quilts. So,
flat sheets and sheets up on the line.
Bobby gets so mad because I'm making them learn how to fold fitted sheets. I'm like, no, you don't roll it up into a wad and throw it in the closet.
Oh my God!
I can't do it. But that stuff like there. But back to the whole cursive thing. I don't know why it infuriates me so much, but it does.
Well, it's like you said, they're sectioning off a part of our history by not
You
allowing them
can't
to be
read
able to
it.
read the Declaration of Independence.
And I'm so used to writing everything that if I have to write myself a note or a shopping list or something else, it's script. I write it. It's in cursive. And if I have to I'm like, hey, Bobby, what's the next list? He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to read it. I'm like, I learned this in second freaking grade. Mrs. Fisher taught me how to write cursive in second grade. I remember this. I learned how to write cursive before I learned how to read a clock.
Right.
Because I learned that in third grade.
Well,
with
and
Mrs.
I guess
Meese.
they have a huge problem teaching them how to read analog clocks now. Now they're doing digital.
Well, Bobby did have to learn how to read the actual clock with the hands, the big hand and the tall skinny hand and the short fat hand. He had to learn that, and it took him a while. But it's like they skim over it 1 year and then don't worry about it anymore because it's, here it is. But they don't teach military time either. Because I told Bobby, well, what's 1300? He's like, I don't know. It only goes to 12. I went, honey, there's 24 hours in a day.
If it went to 13, what would it be?
It's 1 o'clock.
Right.
And that's what I told him. He's like, well, how do you know that? And I'm like, because there's 24 hours in a day. Well, we go to 12. Okay, well, what's after 12? 13.
And
what's after 12 on the clock?
Yeah.
1. But they don't teach them that. I'm like, oh, God, well, if you're ever in the military, you are screwed. Because they're going to say, 0800, and you're not going to know. You're going to be late, and
What
you're going
does
to be in
the O
trouble.
stand for? Oh, my
Right?
God, it's early.
Yeah,
That's why.
Yeah. The 0400. Oh, God. Oh, damn. That's what the O stands for. Oh, damn. But, I weep for our future at this point. It's like you don't know
Right.
how to read cursive, you don't know how to write it, you don't know how to cook, clean, or wash your own freaking pants. You don't know how to, okay, you ripped your pants, sew it up. What do you mean? What's a
sew?
needle and thread?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't come down too hard on some of that stuff. I know how to do a little bit of it, but I haven't done a lot of
Well,
it in so long.
you
Like
don't-
like cursive writing, I generally just print.
Most
Now
guys
I can
do.
read it. It takes me a minute to look at it, like, okay, that's, I can look at a word, like, that's it. I
Yeah.
can, and just a few seconds and I can read the line, but
Right.
and just I don't use it on a daily basis.
Right.
So I'm capable of reading it.
Yeah, I did, and I don't honestly even care if they taught them how to write all of it, as long as they could read it.
Right. But the easiest way to teach them how to be able to read it is to
Is
teach
to
them
teach
how
them
to
how to write it. Yeah. Because I could write it before I could read it.
Right.
Because, you learn a letter, and then you're like, oh crap, now I gotta put all those together. Oh, it's that word. And after a while, you can just look and be like instant memory recall. Oh, it's and.
And some people, when they finished a word, they would just drag the pen along the ground and then start their next word.
Yeah.
So it looks like one long
more,
thing.
yeah.
And some people, they just do it individual. Like, boom, there's your word, there's your word, there's your word.
Yeah.
So
But, it's, yeah. And I tease my kids, and I tell them, you know what, I'm going to use script as a secret language. That way I
You
can say
can.
whatever, whenever I want, and you're not going to know what I said. And if you're nosy enough to want to know what I said, you'll learn how to read it and write it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what would get me, because I'm nosy. I'd be like, nope. My grandma called me Nibby Libby for a reason. You write in cursive, I got to figure out how to read that, because I got to know what that says.
Right.
Even if it's just something as silly as an everyday letter, someone just wrote me a letter, it was a friend. I'm like, but I don't know what it says. I want to know what it says. Even
need
if
the
it's
cryptograph.
even if it's, hey, how are you? You saying I love you. I need to know these things. I need to know. So yeah, I've told them all, I'm like, secret language.
Mhm.
We're just all gonna start reading and writing cursive.
It's not pig Latin.
Nope, Igpay Attenley.
Yeah.
But we're being told that it's about that time for another break, and then we're gonna come back with the funnier side of the things you never thought you'd have to say in your entire adult life. And we will go from there. So enjoy some music and some updates from our wonderful, wonderful folks. And we will see you back in a few.
And we're back. He Said, She Said with Libby and Stafford, and we are talking about the wonderful education system and the lack of ability for them to do what they should be doing and teaching our kids what they ought to be teaching them instead of,
What they want them to know.
Yeah, what they want. Yeah, it kind of blows my mind a little bit that we're not teaching kids how to read cursive anymore, and they've substituted keyboarding class.
Yeah.
And I understand, how important it is, in
our
an
modern-
evolving,
yeah.
evolving technology and everything for the kids to know that. But you still have to kind of keep your roots.
Right.
And with the lack of the education for the handwriting and things like that, it doesn't make much sense to me. 'Cause like we said, you read the Declaration of Independence was written, so in order to read that, you have to be able to read cursive. And if you can't, now to me, in a conspiracy aspect, from the other show, I gotta kind of go there. It seems to me like a way to put the population down a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to get too far into it. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but it
Right.
just seems like a control thing, and it just doesn't sit well with me. I know that's probably along the lines of why a lot of people pull their kids out of public education and do homeschooling now.
Right, which is a solid plan.
Right, because they want to teach them the things that they think are important, whereas the education system nowadays is just teaching what they think is important, and
Right.
it just I don't know, it kind of
It blows my mind.
yeah,
Because I'm like, why do you not learn that? That doesn't make sense to me.
I think when they got rid of home economics,
Yeah.
I think that was the first step towards what we've got now.
Right, and what gets me too is like, how we used to have things like the different system you were on, like you either took classes for business or you were on the academic or academic honors and stuff. They don't do that anymore because they said it makes kids feel bad about themselves. So apparently we're back on the everyone gets a trophy philosophy because I don't know. But back then, the guidance counselors weren't afraid, to say, okay, well, with your grades, you're better off to look at a trade school instead of a college.
Right.
But now, with the way the world is, you'd be better off going to a trade school.
Well, yeah, because there's a
You get a
serious
4-year
lack of...
you get a 4-year degree, and you can't get a dang job.
Yeah. Well, they've turned to college education into the new high school diploma.
Pretty much.
I never went to college.
Right.
I took a year off and joined the workforce because I was poor.
Yeah.
So
Welcome.
yeah. So and now without having a high school or without having a college education, having a college degree, even in underwater basket weaving, there are very, very, very few things that I can do.
Right.
I mean,
It's blue collar.
Yeah. And-
It's you got to work your bones into the ground.
Right. You can pretty much, you can operate machinery if you've had that training. You can, and then even some of that you can't do because like CNC machines anymore, they need some kind of trade school like associate's degree type thing for that. You can be a security guard. You might, depending on the department, you might be able to join the police force, the fire department.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, there are certain things that my daughter's looking at, and she's got a 4-year degree, and they're looking at her going, well, we appreciate that you have a 4-year degree, but in order to work here, you're going to have that 4-year degree and get a technical degree.
Right.
So she has to have both, to work one job.
Right. It just, when I was working for the state, the only thing that they had on the job bank for you to do that didn't require a college education was a correctional officer.
Yeah.
I'd go and I'd look at the state job bank for something that I could laterally transfer into.
Right.
And I was able to work for either the DOC or I could go work for the Department of Transportation, driving a snowplow if I had a CDL.
Right.
Those were pretty much it. I didn't have any other options leaving the DOC was other than to the DOT.
Right. Something
And-
that related. It's just like, okay, so I'm stuck.
Right. So,
Yeah.
it was pretty much the end of my tenure with the state when, that went south. So,
Yeah.
and ever since, it's just been finding something else. And
Just trying to survive.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it happens that way.
But back on the, I think you talked about wanting to discuss some of the things that we hadn't thought we would ever say
Right.
as parents.
Or even adults.
Or, yeah. Just...
things you think, why did that just have to come out of my mouth? And you mean it in the most serious way, and you think about it later, and you're like, that was so retarded. Like, why did I even just say that?
Stop licking the cat.
But
Yeah.
don't quit biting the dog. Get the cat
Get
out
the
of your
cat
mouth.
out of your mouth. Put the cat down.
Don't hit your brother with the penguin.
Or with the stick.
Right.
Drop the stick. Don't hit your brother with the stick.
Quit chasing your sister with a hammer.
That was my brother. God love it. But then I poked the bear with the stick. I did.
Right.
Because I thought it was funny. Like, it was funny for me.
Right.
Because he never could catch me. That's how I learned to be fast. Even though I'm short, got no legs, I was fast. I was like, Speedy Gonzales.
You about got to be.
I have to be. I look like a dwarf riding a ram.
Nice.
Yeah. Like that. Boom. And what got me on this subject was, I never, growing up and having kids, I never thought that, like, a major staple in my household was going to be uttering the phrase, boy, where are your pants? Well, no, seriously, where the hell are your pants? You left the house, you had pants on. Where are your pants? Well, as soon as I got home, okay, you get off the bus, you come in the door, and now you have no pants. Why do you not have pants? Well, I'm comfortable, I'm home. Okay, but you're not coming to the dinner table with no f***ing pants on.
Okay, so he came in the door wearing pants.
Yeah, he had them for like
Okay.
5 seconds. And then the next time I see him, we're just walking around in underwear. I don't understand why this is a big issue, but it is. Then there's the whole, like I said, get the cat out of your mouth, or get that out of your mouth. I don't care what it is, get it out of your mouth. That was a big issue right there.
You're going to break a tooth.
Right? And I tell him, too, I'm not paying for the dentist when you are chewing on the metal part of a pencil eraser. I'm not paying for the dentist. You're just going to deal with a broken tooth.
Right.
Not playing. And there's things like, oh, God, it's just dirt. It won't kill you. Or, don't touch that. That will kill you. Like,
Right.
don't think that, We call snakes angry noodles for a reason. Leave them alone. They're mad. But, if anyone else out there has any phrases that you thought, you'd never ever have to utter or hear as a parent, like some of the things that come out of your kid's mouth, and you're just like, wait, what? I know with my partner over here, he's got a little one that she upped her manipulation game.
Yes, she did.
Like, she knows she's not supposed to watch certain things on the internet, on YouTube, like, Jeffy. Mm-hmm. And she flat told her dad, and he had it on video that...
Well, I had to, because there was no way anybody was going to believe that otherwise.
It had to put on there because she said, well, I want to watch Jeffy. And he's like, no. Mommy says you're not watching Jeffy. We're not watching Jeffy. Well, if you don't let me, then I'm going to tell Mommy you let me anyway. And I was like, what? Like, she's so little. Like, where does she get that? Like, I didn't up...
Probably watching Jeffy.
I don't know, but, like, I didn't up my game like that till I was, like, a dang grown-up. Like,
right.
I'm like, you're kindergarten.
Where do you...
What? I said, oh, dude, you and Teresa are in trouble.
Yeah.
Y'all are fucked. That's like, you're done.
Daddy's going to wind up catching a charge over something that's not going to be...
Right?
It's going to be misrepresented, but...
Right, but it's, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, wow, child, just wow.
I hope this is a phase that burns through quick.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, she said that, and I thought, okay, well, I have to get this on video because nobody's ever going to believe it otherwise. So I keyed it up real quick, and I was like, now, what'd you just tell me? What? I was like, about Jeffy. So, and I kind of half prompted her a little bit just to get her to say it again, but... I thought, man, there's no way. And then,
right.
Wow.
We just had a listener buzz in that said something they didn't think they'd ever say is it's not okay to use a fart as a weapon. I disagree.
Guilty. I've done that.
Oh, I've Dutch ovened my husband. Oh, yeah.
Get him in a corner, you go get up, you turn, and you're still half bent at the waist.
Yep. Gotcha.
Of course, Avery will do that too. She'll come over. Daddy, can I sit on your lap? She'll come over and sit, and she'll be sitting there for a couple minutes, and then and she's showing me whatever, and then I'll feel my leg rumble. I'm like, did you just poop on me? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, thanks.
All right, I'm gonna get you back. So.
And it's gonna be much, much worse.
Yeah.
I've learned how to eat things to make it worse.
Right.
We'll fix that.
Right.
Break you out of that real quick.
She does think that's funny, though.
I still think it's funny.
Well, yeah, I mean...
It's farting. I mean, come on. I don't use it as a weapon. I just use it for funs.
Yeah, I'd go through, like, you have the foyer before. You have the foyer into, like, a building or whatever. Yeah. You got the double doors on the outside, and then the inner double doors. I like to leave one right there, and then go inside and let the doors shut.
Oh, Pat and the guys did one better.
Sit and watch.
It was a revolving door in Indy at prom time.
Oh, and then hold it shut? Yes.
Well, they didn't hold it, but all of them had just eaten at, like, the Ram or the Spaghetti Factory or somewhere. All the guys. And they all were gassy. And they all ripped ass. And these teenage kids and all their finery were the next ones in.
Yeah, it's glorious.
And they said they literally watched them gag and eyes water and everything else. I'm like, that is fantastic. I would pay money to see that.
I mean, you are dealing with people that have cleared, like, village pantries and two-story buildings.
People with the top was off the Jeep, and they farted. You're still hanging over the side.
Right.
Like, it doesn't even have doors on it right now. But
no doors, no roof. Oh, God, I need the wind flow.
As far as my seatbelt will allow. Like, I'll walk. Let me out.
The only reason you're still in the Jeep's because you're belted in.
Exactly, because I'm trying to run. My nose is trying to get away. Thanks, Mr. Kellum, and your meatloaf. Oh. Next time we went, he's like, I think I'm... No, you're not. Not if you're riding in this car. You will not have meatloaf. And no one's getting the banana pudding or bread pudding.
Right. But, nah, the things that you'd say that you never thought you'd say as a parent. I mean, we used to have a big fish tank. It was probably, I want to say it was like a 35, 50 gallon. I'm not sure right off the top of my head. And Jonah used to like to put his stuffed animals or toys.
They're swimming.
He'd put them every once in a while. We went through a few mass fish kills because he dumped the entire contents of the fish flakes into said fish tank. And they don't live past that. Then
They were
will
hungry.
you get the bear out of the fish tank? Why is Mario
Why?
in the fish tank?
Why is the bear there?
Just
My son was, why are there 12 ink pens floating in the tank? Why is there Thomas trains in the toilet? Why is there a towel? Why did you flush a towel?
Right. Flushing a towel.
That was a that was a Bobby, go to your room before your dad kills you.
I tell you, that's
Because that's when you have to pull the toilet off and
Oh yeah, that's one thing that I'm very, very glad that the kids never got into the habit of was flushing stuff.
ugh.
I thought
It was awful, especially when you're in a house that's on a concrete slab that has 1960s plumbing. Not good. I mean, that toilet would haul the mail. The pipes, however,
Right.
not so much. The
Right.
only thing that stuck it was the last towel. Like, it took everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. Of all the things.
I'm just so glad that they never got into flushing and stuff. Any time that like something would wind up missing, like I wonder where the hell did I put my keys? I'm like, oh God, is this the day
Right.
that she or he started flushing stuff?
Yeah.
Where's the remote?
Oh God.
Why is the remote in the freezer?
Right?
Yeah.
And you get a giggle.
Yeah.
Or, oh, he's getting ice cream, I forgot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not even saying it was just Teresa. It could have been any of them. They're like,
Right.
oh, I had the remote and
Yeah.
wasn't thinking. And I'm like, okay. So
I've done it before.
yeah, I think I might have done it once. You set it down to get something and you forget you put it there and shut the door. And
Yeah.
of course, I guess I'd fall in with things that you never thought you'd say, when you were married too.
This is true.
It's like, why is,
Why does it look like there's a full beard in the sink?
it's not full. I trimmed it, damn it.
Ugh, that's gross.
That was one thing I was always pretty good about at the house. Never, because when I was shaving, I'd have to shave to get ready for work, and I'd always clean the sink out
Yeah.
before I left. So that was one thing she never had to worry about was having a bunch of stuff in there.
I usually have a Wookalar in the bathroom sink when he trims.
A what?
A Wookalar.
Oh,
If you don't know what a Wookalar is, you cannot be friends with me.
I'm just gonna act like I know what you're talking about.
On Private Eyes, it's a Wookalar.
Private Eyes.
With Don Knotts.
I don't know if I've seen that.
You're cleaning in your hairs and you. You don't know that one?
I don't think I've seen that one. I remember the Ghost in Mr. Chicken.
Pat, we can't be friends with him anymore. He doesn't know. We have the movie. You might have to be educated. It's
Forced
hilarious.
education.
Yes.
I know cursive though. I don't need forced education.
I don't know. You don't know that movie, so
Oh boy. Well,
yeah. I'm just God. I mean, as a parent, like it's not just the things that you say as a parent; it's also things that you do as a parent. You're like, I never thought that I would be doing like, let's go fish a turd out of someone's pants. Like that's never something that you think, oh, I'll do that. Because I was growing up, I was like, oh, my kids do that. I'll
still
just
never done that.
No, like growing up,
I usually leave it in the diaper when I take it out.
growing up, I never understood when my aunt was like, screw it, I'll just flush the whole set of underwear. Like, we're done. I'm not messing.
Right.
I'm thinking, okay, And as an adult, you think the same thing until you realize how much underwear costs.
Right.
And then you're like, well, now I know why Mom was like, no, you go flip out a turd and then wash them out. Like, I'm not, and, get to the point where you tell your kids, if you don't want more poop streak in your underwear, you're washing your own shit. Like, these are never things that growing up you think you'd ever say. Like, why you feel like you're obsessed with poop. Like, no, it's called, I'm not messing with yours. You need to wash it out of those underwear because it looks like you got a racing stripe up the back of them.
Right.
No. And then with girls, there's other things with underwear that you don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no.
Take that out before I do the laundry. I'm not touching it.
Nope, not it.
I have limits, I might clean up all your vomit and everything.
Right, but when it comes to
somebody
that,
gets sick
no.
in the bed, I'll clean that up. Somebody bleeding, I'll clean up all kinds of stuff. That
no.
You can handle that.
Yeah, we're done.
You're not sick. You're just being lazy.
Right.
Peel it out, throw it away, and I'll do
we're
the
done.
laundry.
Right. Because if that goes in the laundry, your mom's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be on everything.
Yeah.
What's all this cotton?
And if you're not going to peel it out, then I'm going to hold off on my laundry.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and run this.
I'm going to run yours
Mm-hmm.
all together.
So twice, run it twice.
Yes. You'd have to. Because then you got to get all the cotton fluffies out of there. Let it run through the dryer a couple times. Hopefully it'll filter that out.
Right.
Catch it in a lint. But no, being a parent is fun. It's an adventure. I'll tell you that's something they never warn you about. Like, it's not, oh, this and the child is so... No, it's an adventure, and sometimes not one you want to be on. It's like that roller coaster that you just want to get off. I don't like this one. I don't want it. What do you call bullshit about, husband of mine?
I have actually saved bedding before because first time Jonah got sick in it, he had the flu or something. She's like, oh God, I can't deal with that. It's everywhere. I'm like, okay, I'll go up and get it. And I go up and got it, just cleaned up what I could, brought down the bedding to wash. She's like, oh God, just throw it away. I was like, really? Because bedding's expensive and this really isn't all that bad. I mean, we can save it.
Put it in the washing machine.
Yeah, she's like, really? She's like, well, I can't deal with that. I was like, fine, I'll run it. I mean, it's not that big a deal.
Donate them by itself.
That was the day that I found out that processed meat looks the same
when it comes out. Yeah,
I was like, that is unreal. Pieces of bologna look just like they did.
Pieces of bologna. Yeah,
I was like, wow. And then I started thinking, like, maybe I shouldn't be eating this stuff.
Right.
Your guts can't change it.
It is not digesting.
Right. I mean, it was something else. There was a lot of things I learned in the first few years as a parent that
I never thought you'd learn.
No, God, no. I just like weird stuff too. Like the bologna was probably the biggest thing. And then the fact that grape jelly, no matter what you can do, you can't really get it completely out of carpets.
No.
But I was able to save my son's life.
Yeah.
Because I had the Challenger then. I told him after he'd taken the jar of grape jelly and the spoon that was in the jar of jelly and went up the staircase and was flipping it all over the ceiling of the staircase that we could never get to without scaffolding.
Yeah, because it's like 80 feet high.
Yeah, flipping it there, flipping it on the carpet and everywhere else. And Teresa's seen it and lost her ever-loving mind.
I
God
would
love
have
her.
too.
Yeah, it was a standard thing.
Because goddamn, how are you going to get that clean?
She was mad. She wasn't.
Oh, I'd have been past mad. I'd have been psycho.
Yeah, she was not happy. Okay.
Jelly level psycho. That's where we're at.
She was not happy, and what was the worst part of the whole thing was that she was mad, but she wasn't going to take it out on Jonah.
Right.
So she tried to send him away. Just go downstairs,
get out of my line of vision.
And Jonah come down and he'd sit and he'd look and he'd go back up there as she was cleaning it, and she'd get it almost all cleaned up, and he's like, wow, you're cleaning really good, Mommy. Like he was cheerleading for her. Like,
oh, Lord,
you're doing such a good job. And she just looks at me and she had this like wild-eyed look like, remove this child or I shall destroy it.
Right? Because I'm going to show you how good I clean.
Yeah. I was like,
I clean up jelly, I can clean up blood.
So here comes like, you don't have to you don't have to cheerlead for your mom, buddy. Won't you come with me? I got to run some errands. Come on.
Hang out with Dad. Let's leave the house.
We'll take the car. It'll be fine. So I went and belted him in the Challenger, and we took off for Ellick. I'm like, I got to get this kid out of this house.
Yeah, we'll just...
I was like, I would have done flipped out. So I know she's like
on the verge,
walking the razor's edge.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, buddy, I'm going to save your life. Let's go this way.
Let's go here because you've pushed some buttons like 40 times in a row. You ding dong one too many times.
He was like 2.5, 3 years old. I mean,
he thought it was the neatest shit ever.
Oh yeah,
you're
he's
doing
like,
great,
you're doing great, Mom.
It looks like I didn't even flip jelly up there. Like, wow.
Oh no, that was still up there. It was
Lord.
what you could read.
Like throw a washcloth up, see if you can get it. So, all right, well, we are about that time for another break, and my husband, I want to know what you call bullshit on. Was it the private eyes that he's never seen it, or he doesn't know what a Wookalar is, or something altogether different, because you know how my mind works.
Wookalar sounds like it's related to Eddie.
It's his cousin. But...
Oh, cousin Ed?
Yeah. So, they are very similar.
Yeah.
But we will be back after these messages and a couple songs. See you soon. And welcome back to He Said, She Said. And this intro music just seriously gets me like 70s porn stripper music, like just trying to dance over here. But we are back talking about the craziness of being a parent and the education system, and then, the things that you have to say that you never thought you'd have to say, or things that you have to do that you in your wildest nightmares, nightmares, never thought you'd have to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I have to clean this up. Like, what is wrong with you? What is that? What is that? What the hell is that?
I handle vomit and body fluids. She cleans out the bathtub drain of hair.
Oh, that's so gross. It's like a whole nother animal.
Right.
It's like, why is there a dead sheep in the drain?
What do you call them? A danger noodle? It's like a big hairy danger noodle.
A danger noodle? Yeah. Looks like you just pulled a ferret out.
Or a sheep, yeah.
It's a ferret. It's a cat snake. It's a cat snake.
Right.
Just pulled one of those out of the drain. So, yeah, I just... Oh! that, or you're like, what is that smell? Always with kids. You walk in the room, what is that smell? And why?
What's on fire?
Yeah. How many things do you have plugged into one outlet?
Right.
All of them.
Yeah, everything. Like, I've got a 6 plug plugged into another 6 plug, and I've got 14 things on one outlet. I'm like, Jesus, this is how we burn our shit down.
This has transcended the octopus and straight become Cthulhu.
Yeah. We literally, this is how we burn our shit. This is what we do.
When you have surge protectors plugged into surge protectors, plugged into power strips, into the wall.
One plug. One outlet
plug.
that's running 15 different things.
And the other outlet has the nightlight in it.
Yeah,
The
just
other
one.
part of the wall outlet has the nightlight.
With a 6-wall plug plugged into it, like one of those big square ones
Yeah.
that goes flat to the wall, and it's just the nightlight. I'm like, you have 5 empty plugs over here, and you got 15 of them plugged in there across the room. It's on the same circuit.
Right.
It doesn't mean, it's a different plug. It's not going to... And this...
And I'm not saying we've done it at the house. I'm just saying I've seen it.
Never. No, we just know it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And my husband's like, liar! But this, because God love him, he about strokes out because he is the son of a fireman. So everything is like, oh my God, I'm about to die here because, he's like, that's going to catch fire. And it doesn't matter. Like every time, if you move to another house, you rent a new place, like the house I own now. And when my daughter bought her house, the very first thing that my father-in-law asks is, where's all the fire detectors?
Mm-hmm.
Where are your fire
detectors.
extinguishers? Where are all the extinguishers? And I'm like, I
Well,
don't light things on fire.
Sink's
so,
right over there.
Right? I'm like, I got baking soda and a faucet.
Towels
We're
are
good.
in there.
Right?
I kind of got a pee, so that covers the
There's a window
the
and a
roaming
back door right here, so if that pan catches fire, I'm just flinging it.
Mm-hmm.
Not even going to worry about it. Because it's on fire, that pan's toast anyway.
one. Right.
I don't need it. And at one point he's like, where's the fire? I was like, we got a pool out back.
Well, if you really want to see him pucker, I just tell him, hey Pat, the top of the house still has knob and tube in it, and
No.
it works.
No, because I had a house that had that, and, it was when Kylie was little, and we were split up, and before we got remarried. But literally, it was a really old, really cool historic house. Like, it had the whole, like, I called it the round room on the front, because you know how, like, they would make it almost like a turret style?
Yeah.
But it was downstairs, and it was my library, because I just thought it was the coolest shaped room ever. Well, I was never, like, worried about the house. I know it's old. I know it's got its issues. I know we still have asbestos siding under the other siding. We're just not going to think about it.
Right.
But I never really worried until the day that I had to climb up in that attic. And I made my brother go with me because I'm terrified of bats, and I just knew. Like, it was out in the country. Like, there's freaking pterodactyl bats up here. It's going pterodactyl territory. That's where we're at. I've seen this movie. Ends badly for me. No, I'm not going by myself. Poke my head up in that attic. My brother pokes his head up there because this had like the big, big trap door looking thing.
Yeah.
Get up there, like, yeah, because they put bodies up there. That's why. So we go up there, take one look, and I don't say a word. I just, apparently the color went out of my face, and I just came back down. And he's like, what's up there? Like, oh my God, you didn't. And I'm like, oh,
God,
no.
does it have wings? Is it coming right at us?
That type of thing, or he's like, okay, did it used to be alive?
Right.
And I'm like, no, we're good. Gets up there and looks. It still has all the glass knobs, the
Yes.
wires around them. Like, I don't
Yes.
even know how to maneuver without death
Right.
in this attic. Because I don't know why they're still hooked up, because I've got everything current, electricity-wise, in the house. Why is this still a thing? Why is it? And then I look up, and on the top of the roof, where I'd never seen before, there's lightning rods hooked to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's hooked into this electricity stuff, and I'm like, gonna burn this bitch to the ground. That's what's gonna happen.
No, you
One-
can make Frankenstein's monster.
Oh my God. But I don't want to, because it's pterodactyl bats. I don't
But you
want to make
could.
them even stronger.
That's how you make Mothman.
No, not
That's how
doing
that
it.
happens.
Not doing it.
Man bat.
So I was like, oh, okay. So I have, when Pat had come over to the house before to pick up Kylie, I was like, hey, I gotta show you something. He just looks up there and goes, didn't see that. Nope, leaving. No. Like, please tell me you're gonna unhook that. I'm like, if someone can tell me how, like, I don't even want to touch it.
Right.
And so I called Pat's dad and asked him about it. I was like, I got no clue, Mr. Fireman. You tell me. Like, he's like, well, I'll come look at it. He's like, oh my God.
How did this pass inspection?
Exactly. Because I went through home loan and everything. And, like, do you just not look in the attics anymore? They looked in the basement.
Probably
And,
didn't.
You know, because my breakers and everything, my boxes, were down in the basement. So all that was up to code. You know, everything was on the 200 amp and it was all fine. And then we look up there and I was like, this is why attics stay hidden.
Right.
But at least the plus side of that was, you know, you didn't have people there before retarded and decide, oh, well, we're going to use it for storage and just throw crap that's flammable on top of all the wires.
Like all the Christmas decorations.
Right, like, let's just
Boxes of
light old
quilts.
quilts on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, put that whole chest of treasured memories up there just to light it. You know, and...
Like a Roman candle that goes
Yeah,
up.
so, I mean, I loved that house, but I wasn't entirely sad when I had to move, you know, and bought another house. But it was like... Because it was like heating a barn, number one. You know,
Right.
you get a $600 a month gas bill and you were still
Yep.
freezing your ass off. Like, okay, well, we need windows, and we need insulation, and a little bit of Jesus. So...
He can't help you here.
Right, well, and you literally had to put throw because it had hardwood flooring.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, nope, we got to put carpet down because you could literally feel the cold air coming from the basement on your feet. And I'm like,
Right.
no. See, there's a difference in owning an old house that's not updated
Mm-hmm.
and owning an old house which is updated. Which my house now is old, from the 1834s when it was built. But it's mostly updated because my grandpa didn't like to be cold.
Right.
Neither did my grandma because they're from Arkansas and Oklahoma where they're used to being warm.
Right.
Indiana winters are kind of brutal. So,
Sometimes.
I mean, there's carpet if the floor is cold, like, and even the kitchen before he passed away, and I was taking care of him and stuff, and I go into the kitchen, and I'm a hillbilly, like, I'm barefoot all the time. I don't care. He'd get so mad at me, like, you need to put some slippers on or put some socks on or something, making me cold just watching you walk on a damn tile floor. Like, I mean, it's not cold, Grandpa, bullshit, you know. So, but having that house updated, like, I don't have the worries that I did when you look up and you're like, oh, well, this is, not just a fire hazard. This is death waiting to happen for someone that
Right.
like walks in there the wrong way. You know,
Be
I don't
careful
blame them.
standing up.
Yeah, I don't blame them for not touching it because it was scary. So you know, and those are things as homeowners going, what if anybody died up here? Those are things you don't want to say. So
Yeah.
apparently, you know, we're on that episode part of things you never thought you'd have to say, like not just to your kids, but even to your house. Like, oh, didn't see that. Nope. Just gonna
Right.
forget. Didn't see it. Not gonna talk about it. If I don't talk about it, it's not there. It's gone. Nope. You know, or, you know, digging in your front yard of certain houses and you find bones, like, they're not dog bones, but you're going to convince yourself they are, like, nope, that's from a rack of bull ribs, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a radius, it's not a femur, it is not. It was from that ball and sockets from a gorilla. Yeah, somebody had a giraffe. You know.
Maybe. Well, you're over on the...
I'm talking my old house, too. But yeah, I'm in a
you're
in
where
a part
the
of town.
circus was for a while there.
But that's not where I found it. That was a different house, right?
Yeah. You know?
But you know, the house I'm at now, you know, I'm not surprised by anything found because it was I mean, it's not like the glamorous part of town now, if there was one, but
it was a very popular
very
part
rough.
of town back in the day, though.
it was very rough too. Like it was like the gangs of New York in a small town because you had the Gaslight District. You had the Glass District. I mean, it basically, like, these neighborhoods went with whatever particular factory was there because they were shanty houses for the factory workers. And, you know, I have all of the paperwork on all of that, which is in script, you
Right,
know,
in cursive?
with quill pens and all this on waxy paper. You know, I
Right.
have, like, original documentation on the entire properties, and even before my house was built, you know, from 1700s on, when it was the shanty town. You know, and all these little ramshackle shacks and everything. My house was the only house on there, you know, at least for another 50 to 75 years. When everything got into this big court debate and they broke it up into parcels and different properties. Like, it's 20 different properties now, was all one big area.
Right.
So, you know, you're not surprised by what you find when you dig. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'm finding really cool old marbles, the glass marbles. I'm also finding agate marbles. You know, the rock. So, you know, and different weird, creepy-ass little toys. Like, I'm like, I don't even want to know. But, you know, the things you never thought you'd find in your yard. Like, I just wanted to bury the dog, guys. That's all I was trying to do. that the house I was in before, it's bad when the weeds are so bad that when you, because the house, it had an old couple that lived in there, and then no one lived in it for years after they passed away, and I always loved that house. Like, it's my mom's neighbor, and I always loved that house since I was a kid. And I finally, as an adult, I was like, I got to buy that house. And I loved it. I got it for a super deal because it was sitting empty and it needed to work and work on that. And the yard was so overgrown that I was like, I'm really afraid to take my tractor through there until
Push mow it.
till I figure out what the hell's back there, because like it looked like it might have been all scrap and everything else. Well, kind of find out, and there's this behind the garage. I had a big 2.5 car garage, all concrete, and behind it there's this little area of grass that always, and even from when the neighbors are, I told my ex-husband now, but I told him then, I was like, there used to always be a pretty little fence, like maybe a foot high, looked almost like when you put around your flower beds. I said, but it's wrought iron, and it's been there since I can remember. There's got to be a reason why that has always been sectioned off.
It's great.
The neighbors have never let the dogs in there. Like, it's always been taken care of until they went into the nursing home. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, just leave that fence alone. I'll clear everything out when I get home from work, get it all ready, because we had to get things ready for the horses and stuff like that. I'm like, I'll get it when I get home. All right. I come home, the big dually truck's in the backyard. I'm like, why the hell's a truck in the backyard? Like, we don't even know what all the hell's back there. Why are you driving that through there? Well, we ripped up the fence. What fence? Oh, that one you wanted me to rip up behind the garage. Okay. He's like, it's really weird. There's these divots in the ground. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. 12 of them. About 6 foot long, 2.5 foot across.
Oh, boy.
And a big, giant part of a headstone. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have the name. It's got the base and then part of, like, one of those big, tall, skinny pedestal ones. I'm just like...
The obelisk?
Oh, God, but it was missing the obelisk. It got broke.
Yeah.
But you could tell, okay, there's a reason I wanted you to leave the fence alone, because now I gotta fix it. Like, you done effed up, dude. Mm-hmm. And then the hauntings began, And I still have the recording somewhere. My daughter was, she was preteen at the time, 12, 13, and, she was like, junior ghost hunter type stuff and being silly, and I have those recorders that, only come on, when there's sound.
Right.
And so we did the whole rod thing, and our producer over here, he'll know what I'm talking about, where you take the metal, and you stick it down in the ground, and then you have the recorder, and you ask questions and wait for answers, things like that. The short burst or whatever. And it was funny, but kind of creepy at the same time, because she was like, I just really don't know what to ask. And I was like, well, honey, just ask anything. Because she went to one of the smaller groups, which, was a child, And she's like, hi. She's like, do you like chiclets? Which is gum.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's not going to get an answer. That's just silly as hell. She asked a couple other things. Well, we got the response was right after she asked do you like chiclets? She got a little girl's voice say yes, and then a creepy-ass little giggle. Just took the rod out of the ground and said, yep, we're done. Because, chiclets? Chiclets. I was like, somebody's got a sassy little sense of humor. But yeah, there's all of them. And my brother and I at one point, because at first I was like, this can't be. It can't be. It's not a graveyard. I'm in a whole state of denial. Like, nope.
Seems pretty obvious that's exactly what it was.
Well, because
you have a section of wrought iron fence.
Well, but before we got it cleaned out, we didn't see all the dips. Like, we only saw a couple. So we're thinking, they
you
always
have
had
a wrought
that
iron fence section off. Either there's,
right.
What else would you partition off on an old house?
It wasn't like wrought iron. It just looked wrought iron. It was black and stuff, and it was thicker than flimsy aluminum.
Yeah,
shit.
if it wasn't a flower bed.
Right. Well, and the thing was, I couldn't remember, whether Sherm's wife way back in the day had ever had flowers
Quinn?
back there. Yeah.
Okay.
It started out was his father's property first, so it's been in the family. But it's by my mom's house out in Innisfail.
Yeah.
That gray house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the house I bought.
Okay.
So it's like that, and then you'd find little bones out there, but I'm like, well, he always had dogs. Always throwing scraps out to the dogs.
Right.
No big deal. Whatever. So it was okay until the day that I look out there, and it had been raining a lot. And as it rains, more things are coming to the surface, and I'm just like, well, whatever, somebody buried a dog, whatever. Till the ball and socket came up that had been sawed. Freaked me out a little bit, and I thought, oh, well, humans can't be the only one with ball and sockets. They're like, no. Gorillas and giraffes. And I'm like, Well, all right. We're just handsome gorilla you are. Just don't know why a gorilla would have his arm sawed off, but it's fine. It's fine. Just a little amputation. Maybe he got a little sassy. I don't know. But my brother and I, being the smartasses that we are, we're like, fine, we'll just dig one. We'll see what happens, what we find, you know. Because I wanted to know, because, like, if it is, I need to do something special. Like, I need to fix this. Too. Not necessarily want to say, oh, when you just call the Historical Society or whichever, or you know, in our area, Ball State University, where they have that group, you know, that's what they do is old, unmarked cemeteries. They make them pretty. And yeah, those people, archaeologists, you know, but I did, you know, what we did was we just kept digging down, and we're like, okay, we're not getting anywhere, and we finally get pretty deep, and all of a sudden, like, you know, when you take a shovel in the ground and you hit dirt or rock, it makes a specific noise. When you hit wet, gross wood, it makes a whole nother noise.
Yep.
It went thwunk, and I'm like, oh, okay. You pull up the shovel, and it's like rotten, wet, splintered wood.
Yeah.
And you do it again, and you don't get the thunk, but it feels almost hollow, and you're like, we're done. Put it back. I don't want to see it, because if I see it, I got to deal with it. Nope. You know, and because I was still in the process of buying it, so I was like, you know, the self-department was like, God, if they do that, then I'm not going to be able to buy my house, and the shit's going to hit the fan, and all this other stuff. But that's one of those other things that you never thought you'd have to deal with, like, why are there dead people in the backyard? Why is there a cemetery? Because literally it was like a family plot. There were 12 dips, very evenly spaced, you know, but you could tell it was like where it settles, you know, over hundreds of years, because this was hundreds of years ago, at least 200 years ago.
Right.
And so you're just like, man, like, nope, not it. And every time I dig at this house, I just get reminded of the old fella that my grandpa bought the house of back in the 50s. Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised on what you find depending on how deep you dig. And I was just like, that's sketchy at best.
That's why he said what he did.
Sketchy at best. And so every time I have to dig something now, I'm like, please nothing smile up at me when I dig.
Right.
Because if you do, then that's a whole nother set of problems. I got to call my friend, and he's got to tell me the right people to call because he's an archaeologist. You know, our producer here, he's an archaeologist, and, like, you need to tell me who and what I need to do, because I'm not getting haunted. Not doing it. Like, we're going to do a proper burial.
Right.
You know, and I was told that, you know, even if that were to happen, and you know, and it's so many hundreds of years ago, and there's, you know, it's not like anything the police can do. It's, you know, nobody knows. You know, they didn't do DNA back 200 years ago, so you wouldn't even be able to tell, oh, was this person that went missing?
Right.
You know. But I would be allowed to, you know, since that's where they were, I would be able to deal with that, and then give them a proper resting place on that property. Because if you move them, you're just causing more trauma. You know, if you know, like I do with the spiritual ward, you don't need that.
Right.
So we can talk more about that, because that's kind of a fun subject. I like the whole ghost hunt type of spiritual stuff. So, you know, like I said, more stuff that you thought you'd never have to deal with in your adult life. Of why are there dead people in my yard? You know. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break, and then we will be back with you, and we will have some more random ass discussions after that. Welcome back to our randomness on He Said, She Said, and we have been setting a lot this evening, but we're having a good time. I think that's a future episode we're going to have to do on the whole spooky spooks and the funness that is there.
We have a whole show on Saturday nights that deal with that.
Yeah, well, who listens to them? Love you, Jim. No, but they do, but you don't always get different perspectives on it. You know what I mean? Because some of the people that talk on that show believe in it, and some of them don't.
Right.
But, yeah, but, right, and that's pretty awesome. No, they have a really good show on Saturday nights, Metal Madness. That's pretty fun. I still, you know,
try.
For the most of it, I still call it old man music, but it's whatever.
What? Whoa, what?
Old man music. I did not stutter, sir.
I don't know. I don't think I can hear you with my old man ears, I guess.
Well, get the dick out of them and you'll be able to hear just fine.
Oh. All right.
It's towards the end of the show. I'm getting sassy.
You're going to get something here in a minute.
You can get a foot to the head.
Shh.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Try.
Keep it up.
Go for it.
I got my wore out, whatever the hell brand these are. I don't even know what the hell
Are
I'm
those
wearing.
Skechers?
No, they're Fila.
And I'm the old man.
Hey, these were my mom's and she bought them and didn't wear them. And I was like, oh, but they're comfortable. But the only reason I'm wearing them is because the dog ate my Nikes. And I had my Skechers and he ate those.
Still
have
got
a-
your Guess jeans, though?
No.
Jordache or whatever it
No.
was. I don't
No.
Bugle board you could be wearing.
Bugle
No.
boy.
For the most part, I wear my leggings. I love them because I can eat what I want and they're stretchy and I don't feel pain from all the buttons into my stomach. Expandable pants, they are my fan. I like them. So, yeah, they were going to Tennessee to Gatlinburg this weekend, though. So I'm going to have to actually take, like, clothes.
Real clothes.
Yeah, not just stretch pants.
Yeah.
Like actual jeans and shit, because you don't want to go walking in the woods in Tennessee without protection around your legs.
No.
I will be taking my cowboy boots as well, because snakes can't bite through that much leather.
Right?
But because when I lived down there, boy, they got them rattlesnake. They had a place we were looking at a house to buy down there, and they're like, well, we were going to build a house. We're on a different property. And as I'm leaving, they're like, yeah, we call this place Rattlesnake Mountain. And I said, check, please. See you later. Nope. I thought it was real pretty, and now we're done. Deuces. No. Rattlesnake Mountain. There's a reason they call it that.
It's right next to Devil's Holler.
Probably. So
Woolly Booger Ravine.
I'm hoping that, and right now, this time of the year, I'm hoping that, when I love you too, babe. Right now, I'm hoping that the snakes just kind of stay to themselves because it's starting to get cooler. But it's still going to be pretty warm, and they're going to be agitated and like, look, we're going to go to sleep, so it's time to eat. And you look like you could hold me off all winter. So,
Right.
like, I could eat a human right now. I'll just take you down with me. Me and the bear will share. We're fine. So, but have a good time like that. But I'm sure I'll pay for that comment later because the old men with the old men music are going with us. So, we're all going together.
Yeah, but they don't listen to this show, so you're fine.
There we go. That's all right.
So,
Knowing my luck,
I'm not going to rat you out.
Knowing my
Pat
luck,
might, I won't.
well, knowing my
Let
luck,
it happen.
this would be the one show they listen to when I'm talking crap.
I remember saying that about the first episode.
Yeah,
and
and it
right,
happened.
so, yeah,
It did. So we'll see. But no, we're going to be taking off for the weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend. We're doing one of those things where the group of grown-ups go. And this time we're taking our kids. Last time we all went, it was just adults because we went to Milwaukee. And the main reason we went there was to do the beer factory tour. Like, can't take children.
Right.
But we do have it scheduled that one day, we're going to be going, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're coming back Sunday. And Sunday is kind of our own day. Like, everybody drives separately. So I'm the one that I love the rocks and the crystals and the things like that. So I'm going to stop at all these different, like, roadside rock shops on the way home. Mm-hmm. And get us some real shiny, polished pretties.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter, she's never too. I told her she's never too young to start with crystals, so we're gonna go there.
Right.
You find the best deals there. Like, here's a geode for $5, and I'm the one that picked out of every single one that was crystal. I got those, and I picked out one, and it was full of amethyst.
Right.
And the guy tried real hard to buy it back because I paid $5 for that whole big thing, and they were selling like the thin slabs where they cut them for $65.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, here's your $5 back." I'm like, no.
Negative.
And the one thing I do have to give my ex-husband kudos for is he was like, no. Like, that's her rock. She already bought the damn rock. Mm-hmm. You cut it. You said any rock out of this file is $5 a piece. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. Maybe you should have looked closer.
Right.
But they all look the same. You don't know what's in them. Like, maybe an archaeologist or a geologist would know, but me, as the layman person, I'm like, look, it's a geode. It's a rock.
I don't know what it is till I break it open.
I can tell it's a geode and know that it's going to be pretties inside it, but I don't know what ones. You're either going to have smoky quartz crystal, you're going to have regular quartz crystal, you're going to have amethyst, whatever. Cut that thing open, I was like, ooh, purple. It's amethyst. And literally, like, he was trying to argue with me for I'll even give you $60 for it. I'm like, no. I paid my $5. You cut it. It's pretty. I'm taking it home. And he told him, he's like, you got two choices. You can hand her the rock
Or I'll take it from you.
And walk away, or I'm gonna take the rock and give it to her, and you ain't gonna walk for a
Right.
while. Like, so I did, because he had my back on that one, but but he was always ready for a fight. So I mean that no big thing there. But he did have my back and be like, no, she already bought the rock. It's her damn rock. Give her the rock. So got that, but I like going to places like that, like little roadside attractions and all that. I don't like doing their attraction stuff because the last time I did that, it was some creepy ass wax museum in the hills of Kentucky, and it creeped my ass out
You should do the mirror maze.
because they literally followed you with their eyes, and they had pivoting things, and it's like, nope, 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 and a big ass nope, I'm leaving. But I do want to stop the rock shows. But we're going to do a thing down there with just the grown-ups because we've got teenage kids that are coming with us. And we've already
They can
said...
watch the young kids.
Well, and what's going to happen is they don't really have to, like, attach to the cat. We're in, like, a big cabin. And right next door to that is an arcade.
Oh.
So what we're doing is the arcade things now, like they did in Disney World, where you get the money on the cards, like a credit card kind of thing, like Dave & Buster's.
Never
And
been there, but okay.
Well, instead of putting tokens or something like that in, you swipe your card.
Okay.
And it takes so many points or whatever. This game takes this many points. This takes 2 points, and you've got 150 points on your card. And you play until your card runs out of points. And you go and you say, okay, well, I won this many, tickets or whatever. It's just how many that you got on there. And then you can buy, junk crap that, you could buy for $5 and you've just spent 800 on tokens. But, we're going to do that for all the kids. We're going to say, okay, well, the teenagers have got them. You have to maintain and make sure everybody's okay. But we're going to have their little cards. We're going to have money put on them so that they can play in the arcades. And we are going to the Smoky Mountain Moonshine Distillery because they have a tour and tastings. I'm down.
Who's going to be responsible for the kids when everybody gets back drunk? That's my question.
Well, whoever our
Whoever
DD
draws
is.
the short
No,
straw.
whoever our driver is.
So Pat.
Well, he may because he doesn't drink. So
Yeah.
I do. So, do that. But we're going on a short break, and then we'll come back for a few minutes.
No, I
we're
think
done?
this is it.
Are we done? Because we got started late. Are you going to be that Jew today?
Oh, no, you started 4 minutes late. You're already 5 minutes.
It's 9:04. Not 5 minutes. I don't care what your computer says. It's wrong.
What do you want to talk about next week?
I think we might go along the not per se paranormal, but just maybe weird shit that happens unless something else pops into my brain before next week.
So unless you squirrel, we're gonna.
I squirrel all the time.
I know.
Like that's not a if, that's a when. But no, unless
As long
anyone
as
else.
I didn't have to be the one to say it.
Well, unless anyone else comes up with any ideas or comments or questions or something like, hey, we need to, something in your life happens and you just want some advice or just want to hear people, make you laugh about it. Because we're good for a laugh, if nothing else. But we're going to be signing off here, and we will see you next week. And have a blessed, blessed week, and talk to you then.
Good night.